York. I'd been talking to him about it, and you know, the deal for me, I don't waste time. If I'm going to do it, then I you know, we put it together and we run with it and we do it. Like, there's not really a reason to sit and dawdle, or, you know, it took maybe from conception to the show going up, I think something like a month and a half.
Wow.
To actually get everything lined up and do it. Yeah, it's pretty fast.
How did you, I mean, you know, how did you and Ken, did you know him from?
No. I contacted him. Someone had recommended the show, so I gave him a buzz and said, hey, you know, we just started talking. I said if he'd be interested in bringing it down to Vegas. He said, yeah. We talked a little bit. Told him about the room I was thinking of. Secured the room. Secured the rights.
You make it all seem so easy.
Well, I'm going to tell your listeners a little secret. It is easy. Anyone can do what I do. What you have to be willing to do, though, is sacrifice any personal life. You have to be willing to pretty much sleep about 4 hours a day, and you have to be willing to starve, really starve, for your art. Because right now, I'm you know, it's a little tiny bit of success, but I've been doing this for about 20 years,
sure.
And it's been a roller coaster ride the whole time. But I've never gotten off, and that's the thing. You know, I mean, I've been really down on my luck, but have always done theater, and pretty much the same type of stuff. I've always believed in the stuff that I do. So, I mean, it just so happens I'm in a market where I can actually, you know, make it work.
Sure.
You know, and I feel very grateful, you know, where I'm at. And one of the big things for me with the company is we audition and cast only local performers. So we don't audition or cast in LA or New York or anything like that. Big thing for me is I know there's a lot of talent here in town, and so I feel that if I can find success on the Strip, well, then there's no reason I can't share that with the other people that are talented here in town. There's no reason to go outside of the area. I just don't see it. So no, that's one of the big things that I'm really grateful that I'm able to kind of do.
And I'm sure those that are in Evil Dead and Awesome 80s Prom, thank you for that.
They probably hate me. But yeah.
Well, it's only because you're telling them to bring less suck to the stage.
That's right.
Well, we had this question in the first half with Andrew, and so I'll ask you the same thing. You know, in regards, Carrie, and you know, how to make everything flow.
Yes.
Because that passion that you have, 20 years. You know, you and your wife Lori, you guys have moved a lot too. Because you were in Texas at one point, and I'm not even sure where you might have been before that.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I'm not from Texas. I'm from the Northeast, and I mean, I met her in Texas when we moved here.
Oh, okay.
So we've only moved one place.
Oh, okay, together.
Yeah. But I mean, I've lived all over the country.
Yeah.
Doing this crap.
And she's obviously involved with it.
Yes.
As well with you. Yes. And do you find that you're able to? That roller coaster every once in a while has to slow down and get other passengers on and let other people off.
I don't know what to tell you, man. She'd be better. She's better at answering the questions on personal stuff. For me, it's work almost 24 hours a day.
Sure.
I mean, yes, we have a personal life. I decompress just like everyone else, but the way I do it is we leave town and I turn my phone off, and that's it. And then if the world goes to heck, then
heck in a satchel.
Yeah, then that's what happens.
Okay.
And then when I get back, and I find that everything's pretty much run just fine without me. But I also surround myself with people who are very good and who are able to get everything done and on time. Well, I mean, look, there's only 2 shows, right? Evil Dead is the show that's running right now. That we've been together for almost a year, you know, so everyone knows what has to be done. So me disappearing while I miss them, and I hope that they kind of go, oh, where is he? At the same time, they don't really need me to be there to make sure everything is done correctly. So I just make sure I surround myself with a good team, and then I'm able to decompress. But really, to be successful, you don't, until I get, personally for me, until I get to a point where I feel that I don't have to chase it so much, then I'm going to keep chasing it, only because if you slow down, things pass you by. This is a business. So for me, it's bread and butter. It's how I eat. Therefore, you know, I have responsibilities, and I can't just simply, you know, take it easy or relax. You know, but I do, but it's just not. You know,
but it's in a different way. No,
yeah, and you say you have to be willing to starve for your art.
Yeah.
What about theater keeps you willing to remain starving? I mean, you could go get an easy job, sure. But
yeah, well, I would argue that any job that you would get would not exactly be easy.
Well, no,
I mean, quite honestly, and it's different though. See, I'm not an actor. I'm a producer and a director. So my job is quite different than acting. I would never become an actor. Kids stay at home, go to school, learn a craft, learn a trade. Don't go into acting.
I will suggest that we agree to disagree.
I think kids should stay in school.
I think kids.
I'm joking.
I think kids should stay in school, but I would change your words to go to school, learn obviously what you need to learn, but follow your dreams.
Yeah,
and your
absolutely.
Do what makes you happy, and
yeah,
God willing, you know, the money will follow.
Well, that, I mean, look, that's part of it.
If you want to be an actor or a producer or a director, you know, there's going to be a lot of ramen
The biggest thing
nights.
about success is perseverance. Just being there 90% of the time probably is what actually gets you whatever success you have, is because you were there, you were doing the thing, you were fighting for that part, or you know, you were going out and doing that audition, whatever, or you took an understudy role and that lead left, and so now you have the lead. I mean, those are the things a lot of actors aren't willing to take, understudies and stuff, and it blows my mind because I think that it's so short-sighted, because A, you get experience, you get to know the people that are doing the show, and also chances are you're going to be playing the role. You know, I mean, maybe in a short run, maybe not, but it's still not a bad thing to do. So that my recommendation would be to just go out and do it. Look, what's better, having a tiny, you know, role where you're like third spear holder from the left, or sitting at home watching, you know, reruns of Friends
and complaining that you're not spear holder number
and that's the thing. A lot of people think that they just walk in and it's instant success, and I can tell you, it is not instant success.
No, it's never instant success, but I can certainly understand, at least from a certain aspect of performing. I have no desire to do what you do.
Well, that's okay. Feelings mutual.
I'm curious about that something.
Being an actor, I hate other actors. So there's no way I could sit there in a room and try to direct people. I know I'm going to eventually do it someday, but on a very small level. Not these big musical productions where something light. But I've been acting for pushing 20 years. And it's cyclical, where sometimes, not doing anything. And in Vegas in the last year or so, I've been very fortunate in just, I'm at this point. But I'm also at that point where I don't want to do something that may take up so much more of my time and not get paid for it. I don't get paid for nearly anything. I'm hosting with you and Eric on the show because I want to, because it's fun. And that's why I do theater, because it's fun.
Right.
But there's those opportunities where every once in a while it's like, oh, well, you're in this show. I'd love to have you, be an understudy for fill in the show's name. But I'd need you to quit the show that you've already committed to and have put a month and a half in. Oh, and you're going to be letting everyone know. I've passed that up a few times. I can't quit on something.
Right.
Which is frustrating,
right.
But it's also part of my integrity. But along those same lines, I have no problem with understudy roles at all. But if I'm going to sit there and never get on, then I've got to kind of weigh,
Yeah.
And you've always got to do that, don't you?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
you have to weigh your options to what's not only in your best interest, but what also may have the best chance of success.
Yeah, but I think you've probably been doing this a little longer than probably in my mind what I'm thinking of as an actor who wouldn't take an understudy role. Typically, they're younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're just
if you're just starting out, you got to do everything.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, after a certain point, you know where your comfort zone lies. You know, but you have to be willing to go out and take every job, paying, non-paying, it doesn't matter. You've got to build up your portfolio. You've got to keep a good reputation for yourself. Don't burn bridges, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's it. I mean, that's you know, if you do those things, you just stay at it. Eventually, you know, you got like a snowball's chance and whatever to make a buck. Otherwise, you starve. But you know, hey, look, you know, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to crush anything. I mean, I've
well,
been
you're.
at it for a long time,
I think you and I are kindred in the sense that you're probably a realist, like I am.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, when I was younger, I was, you know, optimistic. I still am optimistic.
Well,
but
you've got to be.
I was wide-eyed and believed I could conquer the world, and I kind of still believe. I think all of us who are in the arts believe that we can, you know, that if we have passion for something, we will be successful at it. And but the thing is, a lot of people eventually burn out and they leave.
Well, they go to
things.
conquer the world before they conquer their immediate space around them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Well, and I started out with the idea that okay, yeah, I'm gonna audition and I'll take these smaller parts and then I'm gonna get a lead and then I'll always be a lead. And as soon as Betty Sullivan Cleary gave me a lead role and I experienced it, and yes, of course I enjoyed it, I realized I had a lot more fun being an ensemble member and being able to be 4 different characters in one show than having to be this ingenue or having to be this. I discovered backwards, like, oh, okay, wait a minute.
And there's you know, there's certainly, you know, a difference in the amount of commitment that you put into productions like that, especially musical theater. If you're in an ensemble, I mean, God bless every ensemble I've ever been in, and you know, like Crazy for You, it's just the amount of time and effort those guys put into dancing, and I could never do that. I mean, I know my limitations. I mean, you don't start dancing at 41.
You know, leads, they dance, you know, 2-3 numbers.
Yeah.
Ensemble dance is like 20.
Yeah.
So, yes. Well, and it's so funny because Glenn and I did Rocky Horror, and when we did Rocky Horror, and I would say, oh yeah, I'm doing the show right now, and people would say, oh, who are you? Which one are you? I'm a phantom character. I'm part of a 4-person ensemble. But guess what? I was on stage more than Glenn.
Yep.
I never left that stage.
I never left the stage. I sat.
Oh no, that's true.
I sat in the corner. Shut up.
Getting drunk.
One of the funnest roles, and I will thank Joe Hines till my dying day for letting me be part of that. When I did the Rocky Horror show there at the Onyx, I sat there in the corner as the narrator, and I drank absinthe and scotch.
You were drinking classy man drink.
Like really, or was it
really?
just...
Yeah. I asked him one night during tech rehearsal, if I could, and he brought me in because of my improv background, because of all the shout outs from the show.
Right.
And he's like, give it a shot. So yeah, that night he's like, feel free.
Oh,
so
no.
yeah, I killed off a bottle of absinthe and nearly a full bottle of 18-year-old scotch through the 8 or 9 performances that we had. Halloween night was the killer because we had the show, and then we did a midnight show. So I drank during the first show. We had a 2-hour break. Everyone drank during that one. And then come midnight show, I was hammered. I think my pants came off in the first 20 minutes of the show. But that was the best show. Everyone had so much fun. The audience was, in costume, and they were probably out drinking. It's one of the, like Evil Dead probably, where, having a few beforehand probably isn't going to harm the experience at all. Though
For any actors listening from Evil Dead, I thoroughly disagree with what he is saying.
I'm saying from an audience perspective.
And keep in mind, his character didn't dance. His character didn't move his legs.
No. I'm not suggesting that Nicole or Matt or Ben or Lori or any other
intern Cassie.
Well, she's too.
Oh, you're talking about the audience going out.
I'm talking about the audience.
Oh yeah. it's a party.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sure the awesome 80s prom. Is there an age restriction?
No, there's not. There's not. I don't know. On the strip, I have no idea how it's going to work. It's 80s at 8.
Oh, okay.
6 days a week. We're dark Wednesday.
Oh, it is going to be 6
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
wow.
So I don't know. I'm not sure how that'll work age-wise. I imagine we'll get more older people.
Okay.
Not older, but older than 21. I mean,
Sure.
21.
Now, is it similar in that there will be food, or is
No,
it
there's
like
no food.
No food?
There's some, it's all 80s themes. So there's pop rocks and candy from the 80s. There's Tab Cola. There's,
oh God, Tab.
but then there's just.
Where do you find that much Tab Cola?
I have no idea.
Because we had that for when we did Assassins. Caravan Oshweg every night.
Down.
But after 2 shows, she's like, I can't drink this stuff. So it's just like, okay, let's refill the empty cans with something else. But
there's a bar and there's regular soft
now
drinks.
is it
Water.
encompassing the entire bar area as well, or is it being limited?
The room
to...
is complete. We completely redid the entire room.
Okay.
I mean, if you've seen Tony and Tina's, you won't recognize the room.
Oh wow.
Okay.
It doesn't even look like the same room. We've just redone the whole
Ripped
thing.
everything out. And...
Well, some stuff we built around. So I mean, it's you go through this what they call the 80s time tunnel. You go in and you go inside, and it'll basically look like a dance club.
Oh,
It's like the high school kids. The high school paid to take over a little room in Vegas and put up this
basketball
this cheap,
hoops and.
Thing no,
basketball hoops dropping down.
No. That'd be funny if they just dropped.
Yeah.
But for the finale, yay!
What are tickets running for this? Because it opens this Friday. Is that correct?
Yeah, it opens this Friday. It's you have to go to the theater. Tickets are $49 and then $69.
Oh wow!
So there's 2 prices. But then there's local deals and all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
And they can go at Tix for 10 and all sorts of stuff.
Now it's an interactive type show.
Yeah.
So you are part of the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. I mean, people are encouraged to dress up. Dress in 80s garb and come on out. Whether if they want, or they can just chill and watch. They can be as involved or not involved as they choose. The characters are sort of taught to be in tune to that, so that if someone doesn't really want to participate, they just they work around them, or they perform, but they do their thing. That they don't force people into doing stuff. But there's it's much more interactive. It's not like there's a bunch of tables where you sit down. So if you went to Tony and Tina's, this is far more interactive. You go in, it is a prom.
I will argue on Tony and Tina's simply because you can choose to sit down in Tony and Tina's, or you can get up and dance. And I mean, you can.
Right.
You can with that show.
What I'm saying, yes, but what I'm saying is, not that I want to compare it to that.
Oh, no.
They're not really the same.
No, the only similarity is that it's an interactive.
Right, but where in that, the tables went all the way to the back, kind of, and those people
where
in the
you
back.
could be isolated.
Yeah, this doesn't have that. You come in, everyone comes in the same way. The VIP does not mean you get it means you get a little table to put your crap at. You know what I mean?
Just like
otherwise,
in a club.
You don't get a locker.
Actually, we're looking at a wall of lockers
Okay.
that people would be able to graffiti and put their stuff in to hold it. That's what we're looking at. We're trying to find it. Hopefully, we'll have it by the opening.
Okay.
But with all these shows, there's always extra elements that we have laid out, so that hey, we're going to have this, so we can always kind of improve it and change it, because people, I want them to feel, hey, that was fun, I'm going to go back, and next time they go, I'd like it to be just as fun, but maybe a little different, like something new has been added, or so that they doesn't feel like they're just watching the same thing over and over.
Now, can you give us a little breakdown of what maybe the through line is for the show?
Basically, well, all right. So it has all these different characters from.
Because you got the jock and you've got.
Yeah. So if you think of the Breakfast Club, it's got all of them, all those types of characters, and then it has
Claire the fat girl.
It has like 16 Candles. Some of those guys. It also has like a Michael J. Fox, Alex P. Keaton kind of character from Family Ties. So it touches on all these different iconic '80s characters, and essentially they're competing for king
Prom.
and queen of,
Okay.
of the prom. It's essentially the storyline. I mean, that's basically a storyline, but there's so many different things
Does
that are
the
going
audience
on.
then get to vote?
Yes, the audience
Okay.
then votes on it.
Cool.
So based on how
and they can
the
also write in, if I'm not mistaken, so they could write in, you know, I could write you in.
if there's a bachelorette party, they could
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And that's actually a big part of the appeal for this is to bachelorette parties,
Sure.
21 parties, stuff like that. I mean, we're in a party town, we're on the strip, there are so many people that come here just to have a good time.
And this
you
is
know,
an
it's a
organized. This is
no-brainer.
kind of like an organized party.
Exactly,
environment.
yeah.
Sure.
So they can come in, they can have fun.
Until the
and
principal
it's-
comes in and
it's safe,
puts them all
you
in
know?
detention.
It's relatively, it's a safe environment, you know, so it's not like they're going out to a club where, you know, really don't know, you know, you know exactly what it's kind of be, and you get a show with the party, so it's you know, it's kind of fun, and it's early enough, you know, they can go out afterwards to the clubs and stuff.
Sure.
They're already right down.
So,
Yes, exactly.
So
the
perfect.
awesome '80s prom at the upstairs from the
Yeah,
V
at the
Theater,
V Theater, yeah.
and opening this Friday, 6
Yes.
nights a week, which is great. I didn't realize you guys were going to be.
Yeah, it's 6 nights a week,
That's-
dude. Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
like it's the real deal. It's funny because apparently now we are job creators.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a little weird place to be, let me tell you.
That's great.
Yeah, we have, you know, now between the two shows, we have something like, you know, 50 people we're working with.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. From, you know, in April, I guess, is when we really opened the doors to the company to where we are now. It's, you know, it's just been lightning fast. And we still, there's another thing that we're looking at, and then another one. So there's 2 more that we're actually looking at for hopefully by the end of the year.
There you go.
So-
All of you out of work actors that are looking for.
Yeah, if you go to circmichaels.com, there's a get involved button right there on the front of the website. Looks like the website looks like it's straight out of the 90s, but it'll be easy to navigate. And you'll see get involved, and click that, and then send in your information, and then you get info on auditions and stuff. Or if you want to do whatever, you know, I paint sets, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm always looking for different things. You know, we're looking for interns, paid positions, actors, all sorts of stuff. So I mean, there's a myriad of things.
And as the success for Evil Dead continues, there may be the opportunity for swings and understudies.
Yeah. We're going to be here probably about a week after Awesome 80s opens. I'm going to start scheduling out auditions for swings for Evil Dead. Evil Dead's only 2 nights a week, and we're basically back to the original cast of the show. With the exception of, I'm talking about from January, so we're back to the January cast. So all the swings that we kind of had auditioned, they're all gone. So we're right back to
and
the
that
same
goes back to
cast.
what you were saying, is that, you know, oh, it's 2 nights a week and I'm swing, understudy, I'm never going to get on. That's the attitude. That some
Right,
people
but what,
have.
what people don't realize is, you know, it's Friday and Saturday night, so I've got actors that are in the show that are like, hey man, in like August,
I want to do other
I'm
shows.
gonna be going out of town, or well, these guys are kind of crazy. They're very devoted to. I don't know if they would take time off to go do another show to leave Evil Dead to do it. I don't know if they would do it.
I don't know the cast well enough to
I
know
don't
that either.
know. They're pretty. Maybe in 3 months when they've done it a while and they've had it out of their
Once you get
system.
250 shows
Exactly,
under your belt, you're
but
like,
they're on the strip, dude. You know what I mean?
my skin is permanently red.
Entertaining
I
to,
can't
you know,
get that deadite
large
mask
crowds.
off my face. It happens, and that's you know,
and well, that's what you need the swings for.
and
I mean,
that's
you know,
and that's
that way
that
people
keeps
can
the
get a
show
break.
fresh. too.
Yeah. I mean, but yes, I mean these opportunities exist. You know, and you know that's the big thing is, you know, we're. I know I can be kind of difficult at times because I expect
Really?
sort of perfection.
Never
of sorts.
heard that said. Of you. Never.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you do everything you're supposed to do, I think I'm probably pretty easy to get along with. But if you start screwing up, I'm like, rah. The thing that I think people need to
Expletive deleted
keep, the thing people need to keep in mind is, you know, if you once you go out and you go to do something, you need to jump in with both feet. If you're going to commit, it doesn't matter what it is. If anyone takes anything away from any of this garbage we're talking about, is, you know, and I assume that everyone's listening to this for the most part.
I
is
have
interested in theater.
Yes.
Though I'm talking about the listeners. What I would recommend strongly is that, you know, if you're going to commit to something, jump in both feet, and don't hold back. Do everything you can, latch on, get involved with however much, however deep you can do it, because you don't know what opportunities arise from doing that. You might get nothing out of the current production you're in, but what you do for your reputation now will follow
somebody
you.
else is gonna see that.
Yep. Or
Yep.
someone you're working with is going to remember that and come to you. It's vitally important that you do your very best, no matter what you're in. That's the thing that I would put out there to people listening.
And we are just about to the time where we have to close things down, and so I will leave it at that because
Please, yes.
because
That's powerful.
And
Don't laugh.
don't snicker, because I actually will attribute some of my success to exactly what you just said. But we're just about out of time, so for our intern Cassie and Carrie Ann Parks, this is Glenn Heath. Eric Ball, enjoy your evening out in New York. I hope you catch a show. Sirc, fantastic. Thank you for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
Good to talk with you. Evil Dead, the musical, the 4D experience. Fridays 10 p.m. Saturdays 11:30 at the V Theater, Planet Hollywood. Awesome 80s prom, fully interactive.
Yes.
Prom. For those of us that lived in the 80s and actually had a prom or two in the 80s, in the old Tony and Tina's ballroom, just upstairs from the V Theater. You can get more information through Miracle Mile or V Theater website.
Theater.
Yeah, Google it.
Everything pops up.
So we'll catch you guys out and around town. Go support local theater, and for Eric out in New York, this is Curtain Call. Have a good night, everyone. How come that closing note?
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
All right.
Wow! The
Yay!
closing isn't going out.
It's
The closing. Yeah, we're still on the air. The closing music isn't going out.
Hey, we're still on the air. Well, that's good because I almost started pounding out expletives.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Well, that's all right then.
There it goes. Sorry about that, guys.
This wasn't as bad as